All right, so one thing I get a lot of questions on is how to get the flawless finish with your foundation. Now, this can seem a little tricky, but I promise it's actually very, very simple. And a lot of it comes with picking the right foundation for your skin type, and also just a few little tips and tricks like things with primer. So here's how I do my flawless face. I actually start off with setting spray. Why? Because this gives a nice like hairspray thing to the face. Like it does the good things. So I just give myself like 3 easy spritzes. Then I put primer on my face. If you're not priming your face, this is why your foundation doesn't last. It's why it doesn't look flawless. You have to be priming your face every time you put on makeup, okay? This is like painting a wall. You want primer on the wall you're gonna paint. Fills in all those little fine lines up under your eyeballs, the big pores on your nose if you have them like I do, and if you have acne like I do, it's gonna help cover them. So you wanna make sure you're priming. Now, I also like to top my primer off with a little bit more setting spray. I just like this because I feel like it really gives my makeup longevity. All right, let's get into foundation. So if you're finding that your foundation isn't lasting or it's just not looking very flawless, chances are you're actually not using the right foundation for your skin type, which is a big deal. So you've got a nice primed base, you're letting it sit for a second. Let's pick out our foundation. If you have a dry skin, make sure you're getting something that's very hydrating, something like our stick foundation that's creamy, and our liquid foundation works well as also, but this is my favorite for dry skin is actually the stick foundation because it's a very creamy foundation. If you have oily skin, you're on the opposite side of the spectrum, you want to make sure you're using a powder like a pressed powder or a loose powder. I prefer the loose powder, but either one for oily skin. Why? Powder absorbs oils. If you have normal to combination skin, liquid foundation is for you. This can be used on every skin type, but I prefer it for people who have combination skin like I do. I get very oily in my T-zone but dry around my cheeks, so this works best for me. So pick out the foundation that works best for you, and then let's get into actually applying the foundation. So I'm gonna be using liquid foundation like I just showed you. I'm gonna be using this bad boy right here. We're gonna take the dropper out, give it a good shaking. I'm gonna be using the kabuki brush, and then let's get that on there. Okay, and I'm gonna tap this on. I put it on my brush in like a weird puddle stance thing. And I like to work in sections, so I kind of just made big polka dots all over my face. But then I'm gonna work in sections on my face to blend this in. Now, here's the thing. You want to make sure you're using a brush to blend your foundation. Things like beauty blenders tend to suck in product, which isn't a bad thing when you're doing concealer or a cream contour or something like that. But if you are doing your foundation, you don't want to be sucking in any product. You want to make sure you're using it all. So I prefer and recommend a brush for foundation. So I'm just blending this in circular motions, okay? Well, circular, sweeping, whatever it takes to blend it in is what we're going for. Now, liquid foundation is a medium coverage foundation. It is buildable. So for me, I have a bit of a breakout happening. So I'm going to grab some more liquid foundation on my brush and just tap it right over that area. This is gonna help cover any extra redness like on my nose and areas like that where I tend to struggle, okay? So make sure you're picking the right foundation using the correct tools, you're priming, and you're already setting yourself up for a very flawless face. But I'm gonna continue one step further to really help you out, and that is concealer. You wanna make sure you're using concealer under your eyes instead of foundation under your eyes. Foundation settles under the eyes. Concealer is designed not to settle under the eyes. So I'm gonna be using this concealer right here. It is our liquid concealer. I am just going to put some on the back of my hand. This is how I prefer to do it. There is no right or wrong way to do this. I just prefer it on the back of my hand. You can put it on your finger, whatever. Grab a brush and we're going to tap into it. And then I'm using a very light amount, but if you have darker circles or something under your eye, you may want to use a little bit more. But like I said, I'm just using a light amount. And I'm applying it in a triangle type motion. Let me grab just a little bit more. I'm using a triangular motion because by doing this, what I'm doing is I am going to draw in light to this area, which is going to make it look brighter, okay? Now this is a thicker concealer, which is a good thing. It covers well, full coverage concealer. It covers my tattoo. It covers pretty much anything I needed to cover. It's got it, okay? Now, I do recommend a beauty blender for blending out this. You can use your brush. It's up to you on that one. But I prefer this if you have fine lines under your eyes because it's going to help press the product in, which creates, it doesn't settle, you know? So this may take a little bit of practice to just make sure you're pouncing this on your face, but we want to make sure that we're using a blender under our eyes and we're really pushing it in so it doesn't settle. Making sense? Are we going to get that flawless finish? Now, no matter what skin type you have, this concealer works, so don't stress. There's not multiple kinds. Liquid concealer is what works for every skin type, okay? So there you have it. Now go set it with setting powder, do the rest of your face, whatever you're going to do from there. By the way, because I didn't mention this, if you have oily eyelids like I do, avoid your eyelids. You can see I left mine out. I'll go back with eye primer and eyeshadow in a little bit, which you'll see. But this is the main idea. If you're having trouble with your foundation looking flawless, make sure you're priming. Like I said, I do setting spray, primer, setting spray, but make sure you're priming, make sure you're picking the foundation for your skin type, you're using the correct tools, and then you're also using things like concealer to supplement under the eyes and things like that. So hopefully that helped. I hope that you can use these tips to get a very flawless finish. If you have any questions, let me know, and I cannot wait to see your flawless face.